Welcome to Fire Emblem Science. Today's lesson is exploring the upper bound of chain attacks. There's a timestamp below if you'd like to jump ahead to where I actually do it, but if you fancy an explanation to how I get there... Chain attacks are a new mechanic introduced in Fire Emblem Engage that allow for backup type allies to join in for an attack on an enemy within their current weapon range. Provided you have the eligible backups present, any number of chain attacks can be performed, which begs the question, how many could you do? Each chain attack deals damage equal to 1/10 of the enemy's maximum HP, truncated. Practically speaking, only around 10 to 13 chain attacks can be performed on a full health opponent before they die, in which the combat ends regardless if more chain attacks were available. Fortunately, we have a solution to this predicament. Lucina's Engage Attack. All for One is a sword attack that follows chain attacks from any ally within 2 spaces of the user. If performed by a backup unit, All for One's range for allies increases from 2 to 3. Engage attacks that hit multiple times will play out the entire animation, even if the enemy is already dead from one of the earlier strikes, and All for One is no exception. So, to get the most out of All for One, I need a map, like the final chapter, with the maximum deployment slots of 14, comprised of a unit with Lucina's ring and 13 other units. But what units should we use? Although All for One allows allies of any class to participate in chain attacks, the hero class is the best choice because of Brave Assist, the class skill that allows heroes to chain attack twice when at full health. Even if I reclass all my units to become heroes, they will not have access to Brave Assist until they hit level 5, and thus I must grind. Skirmishes on Maddening suck and require thoughtful play to even survive, so I instead take a safe, brainless approach via the arena. On a completed Maddening file with Lineage equipped, a unit can gain anywhere between 18 to 60 EXP per standard training, but I can only use it 3 times per Somniel instance, so I need a way to refresh the uses. With a $30 entrance fee for the expansion pass, I can fall down the well into the Fell Xenologue, and do a recall battle for FX1 on normal difficulty. The mysterious hooded figure has no revival stones, so I can provide Chloe with a variety of dances in order to snipe him with Fail Not, but this is by no means the only way to one-turn the map. Afterwards, I return to the Somniel and find that everything has been refreshed, including the farmyard, cafeteria, ancient well, and, most importantly, the arena. With Brave Assist in all my units, the 13 initial chain attacks from before are now doubled to 26. While I am unable to deploy any more units, I do have other means to get more units on the map. The first source of extra units is Lyn.
Let's go!
By donning her Emblem ring and using her Engage skill called Doubles, 4 illusory doubles will spawn and chain attack with the user. Despite copying the stats and likeness of the user, the doubles unfortunately do not copy any skills, so no Brave Assist for them. Even if the doubles are listed as backup units, they will not participate in other allies' combats. However, All for One still counts the doubles as eligible chain attacking allies. It should be noted that dragon types will summon an additional double, but a hero with Brave Assist with the standard 4 doubles also yields 6 chain attacks, so I opt for the latter to conserve space. The other source of extra units is Lyn. Okay, yeah, I know we use Lyn's ring already, but we can get, or should I say summon, another Lyn. Veronica's Summon Hero Engage attack can summon other emblems in the 5-star rarity category. The summoned emblems have all their Engage and Sync skills except their Engage attack, which means that a summoned Lyn can call doubles of her own. Lyn can be summoned through red or colorless stones, but colorless has slightly more likely odds to pull her, so I advance the RNG and keep Sunburn at bay by using Silence on him while I roll the gotcha, time crystalling to try again or retry the map if I run out of uses. After Fagata with Lyn's ring and Summon Lyn call their doubles, all my units are prepared. 13 heroes with Brave Assist, an additional summoned unit in the form of Lyn, and 8 illusory doubles make for a total of 22 units, which all fits within the All for One backup version's range. This results in the grand total of 35 chain attacks, and 90% accuracy courtesy of Charm.
I will never give up. This is it! Just give up. Me! Next one's mine.
Not done yet! I will help. For you!
Almost. Still up?
And one from me.
That's not all.
follow.
Not done yet.
Incoming! Not done yet! Incoming! Not done yet!
Our bonds give me strength.
Within the bounds of the game, 35 is the maximum number of chain attacks possible in a single combat, but evidently I cannot guarantee they all hit. The Dragon variant of All for One guarantees all chain attacks hit, but without the increased ally range afforded by the backup version, only 11 allies can be directly affected. Since any chain attack in or out of All for One's range is considered, I can summon a hero with Brave Assist and use precise positioning to have 11 units in All for One range, 5 units with 2 ranged weapons, and the remaining 2 units engaged and equipped with the only 3 ranged weapons heroes can access, Soren's Bolting and Claude's Failknot. With Aaliyah reclassed into being a dragon type, we get a guaranteed maximum of 32 chain attacks.
I will never give up. Allow me. Next one's mine.
Enough! Incoming! I will help. Not done yet!
Annoying. Almost. Take him down.
And one from me.
Me too.
Not done yet! Incoming! Not done yet! For you!
So, what did we learn today besides the observation that getting the maximum amount of chain attacks is impractical, improbable, and an impudent waste of everyone's time? Nothing, I guess.